Hello world, this is Judah Z, founding partner, PandA Law. Thanks for visiting us on our YouTube channel today. We're talking about common money scams, and there's a few of them, so you might see me referencing my paper here just so I can remember them all because look, people are desperate out there, it's a tough economy, and you're gonna find scams and they're only getting more complex and more intricate, so we have to be on the watch out for everything. I know, it's tiring. I often deal with it myself, all the time really. So these are things that we have to look out for, red flags, how do we protect ourselves so we don't become victim and lose our hard-earned money, right? So the first thing we're talking about is phishing scams. Well, what does that mean? It means when someone tries to look like someone else, right? Either by using a phone number that looks like your bank's phone number, or an email that looks like it came from your credit card company, or a text that looks like it came from a specific number that's related to your company or to your bank, right? All these things where someone is trying to take the identity of a financial institution a lot of times that you already have a relationship with and act like they're that person. Right? So we actually saw this recently in Las Vegas, in my hometown. There was a gentleman who allegedly got information about people in their banking, and he posed as the bank, called people and told them that their debit card had somehow been put at risk and that it needs to be destroyed. And they would send a bank representative down to your home, collect that debit card, collect that credit card, and then run it up with all kinds of bills before you even knew it, because they had your personal information and now they have the credit card information or the debit card information. So these are the kind of scams that we're looking at right there, phishing scams. So the first thing is, if you get something like this, you always have to be wary, right? You have to think that someone is trying to take advantage of you all the time. And like I said, I know it's exhausting, right? So if you come across something like that, number one, check the source. So when I get a strange email or email that I wasn't expecting, the first thing I look at is, well, who sent me that email? A lot of them come from like a Gmail account. If it's some kind of Gmail account, but they're saying that they're your bank, they're not. Delete it. Don't open it. Don't open anything because that might cause a virus on your computer. Just get rid of it as soon as possible. If someone gives you a call and they say, look, I'm from XYZ bank, please give me your information. No, I'm not giving you any information. Give me your name and number. Okay, great. Then you go on the internet and then you check that number and see if that number is actually associated with your bank. And then you perhaps give your bank a call on their number on the internet and say, look, I got this call. Is this you? 9 times out of 10, it's not gonna be them, right? Same kind of thing with the text there. You just wanna be very careful about any information you're gonna give and respond on the text, right? So if you get anything like that, you wanna be super cautious, super wary, ask someone that you trust what they think as well before you respond. And then perhaps also what you could do is, if you're getting some kind of scammy email, take some of that language, put it in quotes, put it in the internet, and see if someone else has gotten that same kind of scam email. And if they have, then you're pretty guaranteed you're getting scammed too. Okay, so be aware of those things. Those are called phishing scams. Next kind of scam we come across is identity theft. So understand that 1 out of every 7 people each year are the victim of identity theft. So what does that mean for you? It means once every 7 years, you and me and everyone you know is going to be the victim of some kind of identity theft, right? It's scary stuff, right? Sometimes we don't even know what happens. So how do we protect ourselves from that, right? And this is a situation where someone gets your identity, gets your information, social security, birth date, first pet, all these kinds of things, and then they can take your identity, open up credit cards, get into all kinds of debt, and then you're liable for it. Well, and this happens quite a bit. And sometimes people don't even realize it until they pull their credit reports, which you should really do annually anyways to see if that is popping up. And we can talk about that in another video. But you want to be aware that people can take your identity, and it happens quite often. So how do we protect ourselves? Like I said, check the credit report. You can put credit freezes on your credit report as well, which means that no one can use your credit report unless you authorize it. And you can also take that freeze off anytime you want to use your credit. So most people, you only use your credit really when you're applying for something, right? I'm applying for a home loan, car loan, credit card. Well, if you want to take the freeze off there at that point, go ahead, no worries. Now, a second kind of identity theft, another way that they get your information is by, using gas station skimmers. You even see them at grocery store skimmers, things like that, where you put your card in there and now they have all your card information and they can use it. And sometimes you put your PIN number in there as well when you're using a debit card. Now they have that as well and they can access your banking information, right? So of course, check as much as you can, those readers on the gas station, over at the supermarket, if they're flimsy at all, you just want to be careful with that. But because they can use these skimming devices to get your information, that's one of the reasons why it's always preferable to use a credit card over a debit card. Credit cards just have more fraud protection. You normally have more days, more time to report the fraud, and they'll get that reversed a lot easier. Where with the debit card, number one, they have access to your actual hard cash in your bank account, and there's less protection. The banks will normally not give you as much time as the credit cards will to report that fraud. So you're less protected. So use the credit card more than the debit card if you can. Now, guys, look, I know this is a lot, right? But now to kind of put these things together, if you're using your credit card as suggested and you get a text from a credit card company, your credit card company talking about, look, this might be some fraudulent activity, we also now have to be aware of the phishing scam, right? Someone acting like your credit card company to now get information from you. So once again, if we refer back to the phishing scam and how we avoid that, just contact your credit card company directly, give them a call, look their number up on the website, call them directly, and that will protect you there. Now, also what we're seeing with AI, artificial intelligence, a new kind of identity theft scam, right? Someone's calling you, you're talking to them, they're taking your words and using that later after they record it and use AI to do these deep fake kind of things. So number one, we don't want to say yes on the phone if we can avoid it. So I call you, I say, hey, look, are you John Doe? You say, yes, in fact, I am John Doe. Okay, well, now I have a recording of you saying yes, and I can have you saying yes to anything, right? So when anyone calls me and they say, hey, look, are you Judah Z? I say, well, who's calling? Right? And they're going to tell me who's calling, and we can talk at that point. I never had to say yes. All they want is some kind of response. The other thing that you have to be aware of with all this deep fake AI technology is you don't want to say too much on the phone. So when someone's calling me, hey, are you Judah Z? And I don't recognize the number, I'm saying, well, who's this? They tell me who they are, and either I'm interested and I want to talk some more. Okay, maybe we have a talk. Maybe I give them a call back, something like that. But if it's something I'm not interested in, I don't spend any more time talking to them. Not interested, I hang up, or sometimes I just hang up. I know it's rude, but we got to protect ourselves first. No one wants to be scammed. Terrible, terrible feeling. If you enjoy or found helpful what you've heard so far, please like and subscribe. It's completely free. You're going to get a lot more free legal information. Why not? So the next topic we're talking about today, guys, online shopping scams. We all like nice things, right? We all want the Gucci, the Versace, whatever it may be, the Louis Vuitton, and we all want it at a good price because the stuff's expensive, right? So we're looking online and we find something and it's a great deal. Okay, this is gonna fall under the same kind of lesson of too good to be true. If you're finding that brand new Louis bag and it's half off, probably too good to be true. Could be stolen merchandise, could be just counterfeit merchandise, but it's not something you want to pay for 9 times out of 10. So you want to make sure that it comes from a reputable seller and that you can look at those things. Verify as much as you can prior to. Perhaps the website that you're buying it from, perhaps it's a reputable website like the company website itself, Nordstrom's, things like that. Or if you're going on eBay, perhaps they're a verified seller. You really want to be careful with Craigslist, things like that, where people can just shut down wherever they're hitting you up from and leave, and you never get your money back. So those are things we want to be careful on the shopping scams. The other thing we want to look at when it comes to shopping scams is counterfeit reviews on Facebook, right? So you're always going to want to check reviews. Oh, well, they look good, right? All these 5 stars, great quality. Okay, so a lot of times that can be the scammer's friends or, just these different emails that they've set up. You can't trust it. I know you can't trust anything nowadays. That's why we're talking. How do we verify as much as possible whether that Facebook ad is good or whether this website is good? There's another website called Trustpilot where you can put that information in and it can give you a trust rating about whether you can trust these either Facebook shopping pages or these websites that you're finding these things from. So take a look, Trustpilot. So if you're not scammed out by now, we're talking about our last kind of scammy topic, romance scams. And look, guys, as you know, I'm in Las Vegas and I see people fall victim to romance scams all the time. We can find ourselves, especially after the pandemic, often lonely and we're just looking for some kind of camaraderie, right? So just be careful here. Oftentimes, and this is just present day reality, we're meeting people online, right? Well, we can't trust anything online nowadays, right? As we've already talked about, they can take your voice, they can take your likeness, they can do these deep fakes, and they can do that with anyone too. And so you don't even know who you're talking to online. So number one thing that you need to be aware of with romance scams is asks for money. If you're getting asks for money, big major red flag, guys. If there's in fact some friendliness there, genuine friendliness or genuine romance, they're not going to ask you for money. But if not, you're going to get that ask for money relatively quickly, and you got to be careful with it. Or even if it's months down the line, you still got to be careful with it, right? If they're asking you to pay something in gift cards or any kind of card, you want to be careful there, right? These, not credit cards, of course, but gift cards, things of that nature. You want to be careful there. If they're asking you to send them money, be careful there. If you can not meet this person in person, right? Actual flesh to flesh, you always have to have a certain amount of just cautiousness, hopefully optimistically, but cautiousness when dealing with them, because we never really know who they are until we meet them in person. Right. Oh, and we're talking about gift cards. Reminds me, going back to the first scam, phishing scam, things like that, where once again, the bad actor acts like your bank or acts like your credit card company. In those bad acting situations, they're often going to ask for you to pay with some kind of gift card, right? iTunes card, whatever it may be. Real creditors, banks, credit cards will never want you to pay that way. If you have anyone asking you to pay with iTunes cards or gift cards, big red flag, probably a scam. All right. So what we've talked about, phishing scams, identity theft scams, goods scams, right? You wanted to buy that Louis Vuitton for half price, right? And then also romance scams, all things that we have to be very aware of in this modern day society. Ask questions, be cautious, trust your gut. If it's too good to be true, it probably is. Call the creditor directly. Verify the phone number, what's being said, other ways besides the person just contacting you. If you've enjoyed what you've heard today, please hit that like, subscribe button, absolutely free. You're going to hear more great content. I'm Judah Z, founding partner, PandA Law. Take care.